Somewhere Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darin. All right, it's good enough. I don't care. It's Labor Day and I'm selling the house. It's Labor Day and I'm selling the house. I once worked as a busboy in the Catskill Mountains. There was a weirdo, the maitre d', and he would get so giddy around the Labor Day holiday when, he knew that the customers of the hotels were going to go home, and it was the end of this 10 horrible weeks. If you ever worked in the Catskill Mountains, actually, if you ever worked in a hotel at all during a holiday season, it's a nightmare. We used to serve them 6 meals a day, these people. Breakfast, and there was always a guy who was up at 6 o'clock. The doors open, there he was. A chaza, he would eat 3 breakfasts, a pickled herring, whatever was on the table, and he wanted more. You brought him a juice, he'd say, Bobby, that was pretty good, I'll have another one. He'd send you back for a prune juice, just what he needed. So they'd get a breakfast. Then they would, to keep the people coming to the hotels, these hotel owners would feed them. They were big eaters, these people. This was before anyone knew anything about cancer and heart attacks. The fattiest garbage food you ever saw in your life. From morning till night, 5-6 meals a day. And you paid a fixed price, let's say, for a 1-week holiday. It was all the meals included. So these people wanted to get their money's worth. So as I say, they had a breakfast. Then they had a mid-morning snack, which to a normal human being was 3 days' worth of food for an overnight hike. Then there was a lunch. Then there was some afternoon food at the pool. Then there was a cocktail hour. Then there was dinner. And I'm a busboy. Now I had to work every meal. That wasn't the end of the day, no. You'd go back to your room and wash your face, and before you knew it, you had to give them a midnight buffet. This went on for 12 straight weeks. And what you did it was for tips. No one paid you anything then. So there was always a wise guy. You heard the story, didn't you? The week would start. The first day you'd sit down and you'd look at you, you say, my name is Moshe Schmendrick, and if you serve us well here, and he'd rip the bill in half. Let's say it was a $20 bill he was going to tip you for 10 weeks, for a week of work, right? He'd rip the bill in half and he'd give you a half. I swear to God, he'd say, if you do your job, sonny boy, I'll give you the other half. I'm not kidding you. People were like that in those days. And you couldn't say anything. So that's what we put up with. So anyway, by the end of the season, come Labor Day, this guy, this maitre d', he was a bit on the light and the loafer type, but everyone loved him. Big guy. He would start singing to all of the boys in the back. It's Labor Day and I'm selling the house. Everyone would laugh hysterically. So I'm thinking now it's Labor Day and I'm selling the house. It's the end of the summer at the Hotel Savage. You want me to sit there and eat my heart out over politics? Is this the sum total of my familial evolution? Millions of years of evolution surviving pogroms, earthquakes, tornadoes, diseases, that I should talk about politics day and night? It's unbelievable to me. That's what I asked for. This is not what talk radio has always been. When I began, it was a multifaceted business. You could talk about cameras. You could talk about a car. You could talk about horticulture, how to plant a peach tree. You could talk about the best shoe shine polish. You had a versatility you were allowed to talk about. And people would join you. The numbers, by the way, in talk radio then were 10 times higher for everyone than they are now. Don't let anyone fool you. The audience now are fractions of what they were because we become too narrow-banded in what we talk about every day. I mean, I would like to talk about shoe polish or a rocket to the moon rather than Donald Trump, what he said this, and DeSantis said that, and Senator McCain is like Lenin now. Now he lies in state. They can milk it for all they can now. Milk it now, all they want. Oh, it's so hyper-political. It's a product of the cable news channels. They've destroyed the American mind. They're like malware. And, you're talking about possibly legislating the tech giants. I don't know. I'm not a guy who wants censorship of any kind, but, you say, the marketplace will correct itself. No, it will not. No, it will not. When there is a monopoly in cable news, and there is, whether the monopoly be that run by Sean Hannity called Fox News, or the monopoly of CNN run by whoever his name is, that's a monopoly. Not everyone can get on Fox News who was a true conservative, because if you compete with Sean, you don't get on that show, in my analysis. Let him prove me wrong. Sean Hannity, you're invited on the Michael Savage Show. Prove me wrong. Okay? It's Labor Day and I'm still in the house, Sean. I mean, let's get it on, Sean. Don't tell everyone you're Mr. Bright and clean and bright, red, white, and blue, Sean. You're just like everyone else in the media. You're out for yourself, Sean. It's Labor Day and I'm still in the house, Sean. So you want to call the show and debate me? I am more open than you are, Sean. You're invited on the Michael Savage Show. You want to take me on directly? 855-407-282. It's Labor Day, and I'm selling the house, Sean. So anyway, we can talk about a lot of topics here, not just one, many. And I knew you would. So last night, The funny thing happened to me on the way to the speech last night. It really did. I gave a speech last night to a group of religious Jewish people, all men. It was all men. No women were invited. I mean, they're very old world. No women were allowed. I said, I had Teddy. I didn't want to bring Teddy there because he'd bite the foot of a rabbi. Then I'd really be in trouble. It's bad enough he bites the engineer's feet when they come, and you have to get like a little 10-pound poodle. But he's old. He's half blind. He's a little deaf. If he sees a shoe underneath my desk, bingo, that shoe is gone. That cuff is gone. If I tell you how much I had to pay in tailoring repairs over the last year, you wouldn't believe it. So to make a long story short, I didn't bring him. Irene is the dog handler. So I said, Irene, meet me outside the rabbi thing, and you'll take Teddy for the night because I can't bring him, and he'll liable to bite a rabbi's foot. So she wasn't allowed in. They're all married with children, don't get me wrong. But they're very religious, and in the old world, the men were separated from the women. So this was a thing where guys got together, and you kind of tell stories that have a religious meaning, a religious connotation. And these were wonderful, nice, young, religious, family-oriented men who live for God. And I will tell you, it was hard for me to be around them. And I gave a talk, I prepared it, called Conversations with a Great-Grandfather I Never Met. And I thought it was very good. I recorded it for my documentary that some different people are doing, because I do have a very strong connection to this organization called Chabad. I've known them for 45 years. And although I myself am not religious in a traditional sense, I don't really go to a house of worship maybe once or twice a year. In that regard, I'm like a fallen person. I can't get into it that much. These guys live it like all day long. And I respect that. Anyone really is so believing that they do it. And have huge families, these guys. That's the beauty. America, the way it's going, you know who's going to have children in this country in 20 years? Religious Jews, religious Christians, and religious Muslims. And people on welfare. That's the future of America. There's your demographics. That's where we're going. Millennials are going to have children. Are you joking? They don't even want to work. What do you mean have children? Why did they want to get married? For what reason? They don't even know what the word means. Marriage is dead in America, except for religious people. And you look ahead, this is what's going to happen. And so what are you going to do? Then you got the Pope speaks about abuse in Catholic Church. He's about as believable as you know who, the Pope. A communist they got from South America. Now he's using the race card. Did you hear this one? You talk about religion. They're calling him up on him not copping to the abuse. He's saying it's racist because he's from South America. You hear? He's pulling that card now. There's no shame, man. Wherever you turn, there's no shame. No one has any shame. What's going on? All the callers now. I knew you'd call. Once I threatened you and said no one's listening, and bingo, we can't keep up with it now. Great callers. I don't want to get stuck in any one topic. Please cull them of the particular one topic I don't want to do. I got people calling now on different topics. Let me read you what it is, and you'll hear what people are calling about. I was afraid when I said that I'm not getting any callers, what I'd get is some crackpot from, like, the mountains of North Carolina who's going to call Jim, the call screener, and say, "Hello, Jim, this is Bob. We're hunting bow and arrow up here in the mountains. I'm calling you from my rear tooth. I got a mercury filling that I'm sending on. You receiving it, Jim? Yeah, we're hunting them damn bears up here, Jim. We catch that mother bear, we shoot her with an arrow, then we'll kill her cubs, too, and skin them alive. That bear meat is delicious, Jim. MAGA, MAGA, kill them bears, kill them cubs, MAGA." Unfortunately for you, we didn't get any of those. Instead, we got callers on all the topics of the day. Mike, Mary is saying, talk about literature, music, and travel. I'd like to, but that would kill the show completely. There are about 3 people left in talk radio who want to hear about literature, music, and travel. All they want to hear about is jingoism. Tell story about tuna salad and furry arms. What's a furry arm? I'll talk about that. Okay, that's good. DOJ afraid to make Antifa a terrorist group. Okay. Talk about literature. Why does no one care about the border? Next. Well, Trump said he'd build a wall. I'm waiting. I gave money for a brick. Very important to talk about South Africa. That's another call. So we do have them. They're coming in. They're coming in slowly, trickling into the tent. See, everyone in radio has to imagine. You have to picture, imagine, like the theater that you are talking to. Like I right now am alone in a room with my dog, as usual. There's nobody here. There's not a human being in the entire house. It's out of it's out of one of my home studios on a hill somewhere looking down at San Francisco Bay. But all I have is my loyal 12-pound dog with me. But I imagine what you look like. I have to imagine what you look like. So if I look at the average, the AQH of my show, which is in the hundreds of thousands, that means every quarter hour across the country, people turn radio on and off. Every 15 minutes you get overall a new audience. People listen for 10, 15 minutes and that's it. They used to listen longer. Now it's shorter. The attention span is shorter. But there's another story out in the media that caught my attention. Speaking of that, I saw it this morning in Inside Radio, great publication. Why show break hooks must target emotions. I said, I've been doing this all my life. Now listen to this, and I heard this when I first started in radio. It says radio stations have 7 seconds to hook the audience and get them interested in a bit, an ad or a discussion. It's 7 seconds. I heard that the day I started in radio in 94. And I had a program director, Jack, who was terrific. He said, I get hundreds and hundreds of tapes a week. In those days, people would send tapes. I said, well, how do you know who to pick to like fill in or go on the air? He said, I listen. If they don't catch me in 5 seconds, I throw it in the garbage. It's the same with a caller. You can't mumble when we put you on the air. Jim has a hard enough job. He's gained 50 pounds since he started working with me from listening to you all day long. Jim is a call screener there, and I see him on the screen. Because what I get here, instead of a live person, it's all digital. There's not even analog people. There I see Jim, the call screener, and Clint Granberry. Sorry, Clint. They're in Dallas, and I see them by Skype. I've never met them. I don't know what they smell like. I don't know if they have hairy arms or what. I don't know what they even look like. It's only Skype. It's the way I like it because I'm very sensitive to scent. So, guys, nice to see you over there in Dallas. But Jim is like the catcher on a baseball team. He's behind the thing, and he's got a thing on his face and on his body to prevent getting hit from the fastballs that you're throwing at him. Unfortunately, he's getting so many people with slow balls, he's put on 50 pounds. No one's even throwing him a fastball anymore. That's the absolute problem. Am I having too good a time? I actually am enjoying myself. You know why? Because it's Labor Day, and I'm selling the house.